You know the...
Where'd you move here from? Dumbsville?
Yo. Dumpsy drip, Dumpsy drip, Dumpsy drip, Dumpsy drip, Dumpsy drip. I hit the jeweler, got some goals. I sold a little weed, but I could never sell my soul. And when I'm in LA, you find me out in Lil Coke. Come a vocal with my ramen, I'ma need another bowl. Let's go.
Look, Andy, I know you're all emo and shit, but Cardi's a whole different breed. We had to leave LeBron behind, so it's just you and me, so be careful.
Are you forgetting who I am? I'm Andy Beersack. This will be as easy as watching American Satan.
Oh golly, here comes the situational irony.
Something came slow. I got my jacket slowed up. We on back time if you bitch.
What the fuck is this even fucking English?
Yeah, you grow to appreciate
I
it.
know that shit.
They wanted me to murder the whole song back to...
It's me, Iggy Azalea.
Eating my hoe while you with the bed.
Well, I live in Australia, so any vampire that came into my country simply fell off the earth. Since, you know, we're upside down and all that. Jordan, I know you want me back, and you miss all the times we hate together, but throwing your rage at the world by turning everyone into a vampire will only push me away. Truth is, Jordan, you need to be your own individual. I understand it's hard, but you...
Okay, Andy, he's open! Eat modern Christian media! Okay, YouTube, I see how it is. You wanna age restrict my American Satan video I worked so hard on? You know what? Fine. We'll watch a nice Christian movie. That way YouTube won't 1984 me. Left Behind is a best-selling Christian book series about the end times and the people who are left behind by God. The books would go on to spawn an entire film trilogy starring Kirk Cameron, because why wouldn't they? And 4 video games, which look like the worst of video games ever made to me. Like, what are these? But in 2014, Left Behind got a full-on reboot with a pretty regular cast list, like this guy, this girl. Nicolas Cage! That's right, the actor they got to... No, wait a minute. To call this man an actor would be an insult to him. To call him a man would be an insult. This is a deity. This being has been able to ascend to the highest level of transcendence. And because of that, the movie really piqued my interest. So is it any good? No. In actuality, it's an absolute mess. But is Nicolas Cage in it? Yes. So let's talk about Left Behind, the Nicolas Cage Christian movie. So our movie opens in an airport, where we meet Chloe Steele, a college student coming home. And side note, you know our film starts off good when we get to this image. Oh my god. Did they search up NicolasCage.png? What is this? We also meet Buck Williams, a famous investigative reporter who meets up with this lady who immediately throws Jesus onto him.
Do you read the Bible?
You believe in God? That's a complicated question. It depends on what you mean by God.
Well, Matthew 24 verse 7
Oh my
says that there shall be
gracious, we are
famines,
2 minutes in.
pestilence.
Then Chloe comes up and starts spouting r/atheism quotes at her.
So God knew that all these things were going to happen.
Honey, God knows everything.
Oh yeah? Well, have you seen my YouTube video with my persona in it?
It's a fallen world. We destroyed it with the first sin.
Who destroyed it? Me? You? Him?
Gotta say, I love the shower argument method of writing here. Cut to the hottest character in the movie. Ew, who the fuck is this whore? Come on, give me some real shit. Yeah, now we're talking. So Nick Cage is cheating on his wife.
Hello? Base department?
With this woman who isn't nearly as hot as him. Meanwhile, Chloe and Buck start hitting it off. And it's revealed that Chloe hates her mom because, Christianity.
Actually, I was looking through the thesaurus on my phone this morning, and I've decided to go with wacko.
Wacko.
Was this film written in 1997? But then Nicolas Cage shows up. God, I wish that were me. So Chloe is Nick Cage's daughter. God, I wish that were me. Nick then sees Buck and is all like,
You're Cameron Williams. Holy cow.
but then he leaves and, yeah. So Nick and his daughter do some catching up. And Nick's daughter is all like, I hate Christianity. I don't blame you for cheating on mom. But Nick's all like, no, I would never do that. Those are false allegations on Twitter.
I read it.
We then get some very subtle dialogue.
I just feel like she's always trying to shove it down my throat.
Man, I wonder if these characters will be wrong for not believing in God.
Chloe?
So, conveniently, Nick Cage is a pilot, flying a plane to London that Buck Williams just so happens to be on. And once again, he's trying to cheat on his wife by flying his hostess out to London.
Planning on spending some time together in London.
Meanwhile, Chloe and Buck have some character development, and it's implied the two are down to fornicate after marriage. However, of course, this never actually goes anywhere in the movie, and it's more focused on them talking about why God is bad or something. Ah, the Christian film tradition of writing cardboard cutout characters. That way you can focus on ham-fisting propaganda. Anyways, the plane begins boarding.
So,
You get her number?
Who's this guy?
I saw you two in the lounge about an hour ago. And now you just happen to be the last person to get on the plane?
Oh, they're trying to develop him, aren't they? It's so cute. They're really trying. We're introduced to a midget character. Remember him because you'll wish you didn't. We get a Toad cameo, and we get a...
I know you. Look, George. It's Frank Sinatra.
What does this exchange mean exactly? Is the joke that he looks like Frank Sinatra? Because he doesn't. Is it that they're old? But then why bring up Frank Sinatra? Anyways, whatever. The plane takes off. Meanwhile, Chloe arrives home and is greeted by her little brother, who I can only hope is written better with age.
The brand new baseball glove that I've been asking for.
Why was that so specific? We also meet Chloe's mom, and after putting her gloves on the Holy Bible, wow, good imagery, Blade Runner is coping and seething right now. We get an action-packed talking scene, and in this scene, Chloe mentions the crazy lady from the airport who shoves God onto people, but her mom seems to take offense to her calling that lady crazy.
Some crazy lady cornered him in the air.
Bruh.
That's not how I meant that.
This implies that all Christians are okay with randomly approaching people in airports to shove God onto you. Which, fun fact, at the college prep Christian high school I went to, we were taught not to do this. I call this evangelism the Norm Macdonald bit method.
I just go to fucking military funerals and go fucking
Anyways, this leads to an epic God rap battle, written with the subtlety of a car crash.
I've been praying for you to come home, and I believe
God will not let them take me.
If God brought me home for Dad's birthday, then why did he let him fly off to London?
Yeah, nobody writing this actually talked to an atheist before. She then leaves because she's really angry, and that's about it. Cut back to the plane where we get more horrible dialogue.
That's my dad. He plays football.
What team?
Go Jets!
Dear Lord. Meanwhile, Chloe takes her brother to the mall, but then she loses him, but then she finds him. Man, I wonder what this is foreshadowing. Meanwhile, we cut to Nick Cage cheating on his wife, where it's revealed he bought U2 concert tickets, proving that these characters are indeed over the age of 40. Cut back to Chloe and her brother, where suddenly he disappears out of nowhere. And the same thing is happening on the plane, meaning the rapture is finally happening. 30 minutes into the movie. Man, God must love poorly written character development to take this long. So now mass hysteria is happening. What? Meanwhile, Chloe is sitting like a goddamn Final Fantasy character. Wow, she's really relaxed about her brother suddenly disappearing. But then a car breaks through a window for no reason, and immediately the world is plunged into chaos, with people committing crimes because they aren't Christian, apparently. And ignoring the obvious propaganda, everybody who isn't a Christian is an evil criminal all of a sudden bullshit. Why would your very first instinct when people are disappearing be, hey, let me go steal this random TV? It's not even like 4K or 1080, it's 720. And if you're a non-believer and see people disappearing, you would probably worry that you would be next to disappear, right? So why would you steal a TV if you potentially couldn't even watch it? Anyways, Nick tries to calm the passengers down, and we get a funny, angry Nick Cage.
Fight from what? Sit down.
Sadly, this is the closest he ever gets to overacting. So let me get this straight. You hire Nick Cage for your movie, but you don't let him do what he's best at, which is chewing the scenery? Do you not know what actor you hired? You then get this really bad green screen plane crash. Meanwhile, Buck prods people with a camera.
No one will help me.
Oh, thank you for talking to the camera, ma'am. That's really convenient. Makes my news job a lot easier. Man, if we get down fast enough, I can put Minecraft footage over this.
I asked Twitter to make up some holiday.
This place, well, this place was gonna kill me too. I could see that now.
Can you tell me what you saw?
And go into grave detail too. I'll put funny cartoon sound effects over it.
I was sitting here.
Yo, I was on my iPad playing Fortnite Mobile, about to drop a fucking 50 bomb.
No, that was fucking shit. I'm out of here. Meanwhile, this scene happens. Oh my god, what a struggle. Literally zero impact at all. Oh my god! This film is trying way too hard to be dramatic, and it's coming off as fucking goofy. Anyway, so Buck talks to this woman who looks like she's on the verge of bursting out laughing, which I also would be if I had to read these shitty fucking lines.
Isn't it? It can't be. I know what's going on here.
So this woman does coke in the bathroom to calm her down. You can tell it's a Christian movie because they don't know how drugs work.
I think what we should all be doing right now is saying a prayer.
A prayer?
So the midget is a grumpy atheist.
A prayer to who?
To God.
Who's God? Yours or mine?
Wow, that is on the nose as shit.
I think what we should all be doing right now.
You have
Oh no!
So long story short, a little while later, the midget tries to steal from the one guy, but then a jump scare happens, and he reaches into his bag and wait, hold on, wait, what? So very disjointedly, the film cuts back to Chloe, and then she runs away and we cut back to the plane? Oh, well thank you, that meant a lot to the story. So everyone is theorizing what they think is happening.
Maybe they were abducted.
Aliens?
Gotta love how the midget guy is just a needless contrarian. So Chloe sees more crazy shit happening, and she runs into this hospital for no reason, where she's jump scared for no reason. Why the hell are there FNAF jump scares in this movie? There's no fucking reason for it. So we get a talking scene and yeah. And we get another talking scene too, with Nick Cage and Buck Williams. You gotta love how Nick Cage is just in this cockpit for the whole movie. Did they film his scenes in like 3 days? Meanwhile, Chloe arrives home, and she realizes that it's Jesus the whole time, and she starts crying.
You're an orphan! Orphan! Orphan!
Meanwhile, Nick Cage looks through this book and also realizes that it's Jesus the whole time.
I think I know where they are.
Now, if you're one of my little biblical scholars out there in the audience, you may be wondering, wait a minute, aren't there multiple different interpretations of the book of Revelation? And it's also way too convenient that this white woman believes the version that happens in the real movie? Look, I know this is shameless propaganda and all, but this really is a massive missed opportunity. The book of Revelation is very much misunderstood, and I think it would have been really interesting to dive into different people's views of Revelation. No, wait, actually that would de-unify the Christian community in this movie, who have never been theologically de-unified before. Never, ever. Meanwhile, this woman thinks the other people on the plane are actors, and that her husband is trying to steal her daughter from her.
I know what's going on here. How much did he pay you?
What are you talking about?
I can't believe he's doing this. She's my daughter!
I just look at my daughter full makeup, singing she's in love with an emo girl.
She then pulls out a fucking gun.
Where did you get that?
I shoved it up my ass, of course. Those TSA bastards will never check the secret pockets.
Shut up, just shut up! This plane landed while I was sleeping. He took her. He paid all of you to lie to me.
And he even got me this gun conveniently. Wow, what contrived bullshit. So long story short, oh, it's Jesus the whole time. Oh, I guess I'll kill myself then. Oh no, don't kill yourself. You're so sexy. Why not though? Well, the reason is... Wow, that was a really good reason. Here's my gun. Meanwhile, Nick Sideho, God, I wish that were me, is suddenly all like, oh, you believe in God now? That's so cringy.
What has happened to you? Why are you talking like this?
Oh, yes, of course. Even during the end of the world, you still got to appeal to r/atheism.
You lied to me about your wife. You lied to your wife about this trip. You even lied to your own daughter.
Meanwhile, Chloe's in this church, in a scene that's completely pointless. I'm not kidding, by the way. She talks to this pastor who was left behind and is apparently corrupt. Chloe argues with him for a minute, and he's just never seen or heard from again. Wow, what a great scene. I'm glad my time was completely fucking wasted. Chloe then walks on this bridge and climbs to the top, intending to commit suicide. Now, this would be a really sad, emotional scene if they didn't have the stupid-ass Christian song playing over it. For some odd reason, nearly every Christian movie has to have this weird song number. I'm not even kidding, by the way. Like, God's Not Dead had it, that Fireproof movie had it, and now Left Behind has it. Do they think people are going to stand up and worship Christ during it? Newsflash, this isn't uplifting or emotional. It's distracting and annoying. Now, if Kanye were playing, well, things would be a little bit different, you know what I'm saying? But thankfully, in the nick of time, she gets a phone call from bumfuck and Nicolas Cage, where she reveals that her mom is gone. But long story short, they need help landing. You know, third act bullshit. So Chloe runs out to this place, and we get 10 minutes of people landing a plane. And it's played so dramatically, too. Oh, will the plane land? Will they survive? Honey, I don't think we can land this plane. It sounds like I'm in a book series where I'm a primary character. Or a character like me has survived in any other movie. No, I won't be able to make it, honey. It's okay, Dad, I'll drive this bulldozer. Really mundane shit. Oh, here's a fucking explosion. Real action packed. And what do you know? They land the plane. Who could have guessed? Oh, and here's another random explosion if the tension wasn't high enough. And what do you know? Everyone's safe and sound and happy now. So the girl leaves Nicolas Cage. You know, her loss, I would have sucked his dick right there.
I'm sorry.
And Nick and his daughter are finally back together, which would be emotional if they had more than one scene together. Man, I'd be more attached to the relation of these characters if we saw their relationship. And the three characters stand side by side for one final scene.
Looks like the end of the world.
No. yet. I'm afraid this is just the beginning.
So they all stand side by side, and that's where the movie ends. Welp, that was a massive piece of shit. So, where to begin? So, the actual plot of this movie is boring. For the first 30 minutes of this thing, people are just talking to each other. For the next hour, it's Chloe randomly meandering around and then crying about Jesus or whatever. All while these half-baked characters are stuck on this plane, most likely because they want to save budget. And then the movie goes, oh, here's a final action scene, I guess. Yeah, fuck this shit. This movie feels like a first act stretched out to 2 hours. Speaking of characters, they're all really terrible. These characters on the plane are obnoxious. They're either out-of-touch stereotypes of what people think a, for example, drug abuser is, or they're an old person who is funny, or they're a short person because that's funny.
Nobody's laughing!
And the other characters who are the main characters, by the way, aren't much better. Chloe's mom is a wholesome woman with no depth. The bimbo flight attendant Nick Cage's fucking has no depth. Buck Williams has no depth or personality. You can guess Chloe's entire arc the moment you meet her, which means she also has no depth. And Nicolas Cage, the funny meme actor you came to see, also has, you guessed it, zero depth. In fact, he's barely in the movie. He sits in this cockpit most of the time doing jack shit. Once again, I wouldn't be surprised if, just to save budget, they only adapted the first chapter of the book or so. It feels so rushed and so half-assed. And of course, the elephant in the room, this is a Christian movie, meaning that subtlety and nuance are thrown out the window. Why actually explore deep themes when you can just be preachy about Christianity? Now, the end times, in my opinion, would actually be really cool to explore in a fictional setting, but they barely did the bare minimum here. You could have explored, like, different views of the end times, some people getting certain things wrong. In the movie, some people think it's aliens or some weird dimensional thing. You could have explored that, but nope, these people are wrong for being atheists. Haven't seen that in a Christian movie before. Christian films are too afraid to actually explore deep topics like this. They'd rather be biased propaganda, but that only results in a one-dimensional movie. If your movie only has one thing going for it that only one kind of audience will enjoy, then what are you trying to accomplish? And don't say it's for God either. You didn't make art for God. You made a child-level drawing that God can hang on his fridge. Overall, this movie sucks, and the people who made it should be ashamed of themselves. Except for Nicolas Cage, he was perfect in it. Anyway, so Cardi's defeated, right?
Oh my god. I think you just killed him.
Yeah, all in a day's work. Come on, Andy, let's go.
Can you buy
Andy,
my
the
book
world
first?
is ending! Hey, before I go, we have Dumsy merch now. That's right, we officially have Dumsy drip. We have shirts, sweaters, mugs, bucket hats, so much more. We're currently working on more products and designs, all that is coming soon. This is 100% Dumsy certified drip and will attract you, some fair maiden. Link is down below. Get yourself some Dumsy drip and let the streets know who you represent, and I think that's how it works.
Me and you ain't on the same shit. You ain't in my lane, bitch. Nah, throw that shit in fifth. Rollie on my wrist. Ay, baby, you a star. I'm my only wish. I'm counting blue hundreds. I'm too money. Ay, and my little bitch, she too lovely. Yeah, hanging up and calling me right back. Ay, baby, why you calling me like that? Yeah, getting high with the seat laid back. Baby, gon' relax, yeah. Hey, they don't know the half, yeah. No matter what happened, I got your back. Baby, that's the facts, yeah. That's the facts, yeah. Yeah, we can fight, but the feeling's gone. I try to find the words, but they never come. I can still see you on the lawn. Hey, laying outside in the summer sun. Yeah, we can fight, but the feeling's gone. I try to find the words, but they never come. I can still see you on the lawn. Hey, baby, that's the facts, yeah. That's the facts, yeah.
I have been praying for you to come home, and I believe that that is why God brought you here.
What did you say? God brought me home? God did not bring me home. I brought me home. I bought the ticket. I got on the flight. God had nothing to do with it. And let me ask you something. If God brought me home for Dad's birthday, then why did he let him fly off to London?
Maybe because it's important for us to talk.
I don't think so.
This shit creaming. I mean, creaming. I mean, creaming. I mean,